Namaste, good morning children. Hope we are all doing fine, right? Today we'll be doing about modal verbs. Modal verbs, right? This is also part of your lesson, a hero, right? So before that, let me just touch on the verbs. We know that every sentence has a verb. Whatever action is taking place in the sentence, that is the verb, right? He is jumping. She is running. So this jump, running, these are all the action verbs. They're all the verbs, right? So verbs in a sentence. So I would like to share this PPT with you. Just go through that. It's very simple to understand. Okay. Verbs are either main verbs or helping or auxiliary verbs. Now that verbs that indicate actions can be called as main verbs. Like as I told you, jumping, running and all those things. Laugh, cry, come, stand, etc. They are all action verbs. Alright. And helping verbs or auxiliary verbs are also there, so that sort of helps for the action to take place. He is running. So is becomes an auxiliary verb here. Right? So here this auxiliary verbs can be divided again into two parts. Right? One is primary and one is modals. So now what are these primary forms? B forms. They are called as B forms. Now these B forms will also come in your exams as fill in the blanks. That we will do the chapters later on when it comes. So now just focus on what I am trying to tell you. So auxiliary verbs, helping verbs, there are two types, primary and modals. So what are the verbs under primary? Be forms, am, is, are, was, were, have forms, has, have, had, and then do forms, does, do, did. Right? They are all these different forms. Be forms are am, is, are, was and were. Have forms are has, have, had. And do forms are does, do, did. Okay, that is it. Now leave that apart. Now we go to modals. Now modals, which are the words shall, should, will, would, can, could, may, might, must, need, dare, ought to, used to. So these are all some of the modal verbs, right? So please remember that, children. Then next slide is about what is a modal. Modal verbs are used to indicate moods, or can also say that it is a type of auxiliary verb, right? That is used to express ability, possibility, request, permission, threats, refusal, hope, wishes, suggestion, preference, etc., etc. So many things are there. So all these things can be called as modal verbs, right? So whenever you have this kind of auxiliary verb, it expresses all these things. So modal phrases, what are modal phrases? It's a combination of auxiliary verb plus preposition. Note, now here there is a note here. A negative modal is formed by adding not immediately after a modal. So we just saw what were the modals: can, could, may, might, right? All those things. Now after can, the modal word can, if I add not, it becomes a negative sentence. He cannot read, right? Or he cannot run fast, right? So that is what is cannot run fast. He cannot read neatly or fast, whatever. Like that, when you add, that becomes, when you add not after that, he might not know the news, right? Or he cannot come to the school today, right? So when you add not, it becomes a negative sentence. It's very simple. Then there are generally, I've just listed 9 common modal verbs. There are some more, so you can just, these are the ones, important ones which generally comes, right? So here I've listed down can, can't, could, couldn't, may, might, will, won't, would, wouldn't, shall, should, ought to, must, mustn't, need, need not, right? And I've given you examples for each of these models. And also I've given you the functions. Last class you did about language functions. So here I've given you listed out how to identify those functions. All right. Now here can I borrow your book? So it's seeking permission, right? Could you lend me a pen? So again, it's a request. Please may I borrow your pen, right? May I have some water? It's a request again. Might, they might sell their house. It's a possibility. They may do it, right? Will, it will rain today. It's a prediction. Looks like it's going to rain today. It will rain today. would, or you can say it won't rain today. If you say that, or it will not rain today, it becomes a negative sentence, but again it is a prediction. Then would you prefer tea or coffee? Preferences, right? Shall and should. Shall I help you? Offer. You should listen to the advice of our elders' advice. Ought to. The bus ought to be here any minute. It's a probability. Then must. We must make a move now. It's an obligation. Let's make him move now. We are disturbing him. Let's move on. He has to study. Sort of an obligation. Let's move on. Mustn't. You mustn't tell lies. It's an advice. Need. You need to lose weight. It's compulsion. You look very fat, or you have to put on weight. You need to lose weight. You need to put on weight, right? So you can add, these are all compulsions they use generally. So you got it on, children? So these are the models, the examples, and how to identify the language functions. 100% 1 mark question will be there in models. So please, see, sometimes they may give you fill in the blanks. Then instead of saying, could you lend me a pen, dash, there will be 2 dialogues. Rama asked if he had brought his pen. So then Suman replied, yes, she had. Then Rama dash, you lend me a pen. So write the correct model. So could you lend me a pen? So that is how they will ask you in the exam sometimes, right? Fill in the blanks. Now next I have given you another chart. Match the underlined portions of the dialogues with the attitudes and functions denoted by the models used in them. So one block I have dialogues. You don't have to fill in the blanks. You have to just identify with what attitude and function it matches. He can write. I'll just tell you the first one. He can write. So go through all the options given. It's an ability, right? He can write. That is the ability. So please do all these exercises in your classbook or in your grammar book, wherever, one of the places. And then be ready. Once the school reopens, I will ask you to show me. Then exercise, please do this also. Write a second sentence, another sentence, so that it has a similar meaning to the first one. Use the word in the brackets. For example, like, we give you a sentence and there is a word given in bracket. So you have to use that word and make another sentence. For example, the first one I've done it for you. Perhaps Suresh knows the address. So we remove perhaps here. Suresh may know the address. Right? So this is how we change using the word may. So we should be careful. Ought. So use what you should remove and what you should use. Ought has to be used. So how will you rewrite the sentence? Is that clear? So all of you have to do the rewriting of all this what I have shown you. Is that clear? I managed to finish all my work. You have to use the word able. It's against the rules for players to have a drink. Allowed. Use the word allowed. The best thing for you to do is sit down. So use the word better. The report must be on my desk tomorrow morning. Has. It is possible that Ritu did not receive my message. Might. Use. It's impossible for Jane to be jogging in this weather. Can't. Mark wants a cup of coffee. Like. It was not necessary for Malti to clean the flat. Use the word didn't. Right? So here, using the words which are given in the brackets, rewrite the sentences and do the exercises. Finish the work. Is that clear? And if, as usual, again, I'm telling you, if you have any doubts, we shall redo it again once the online classes start. Is that clear? All right, children. Bye-bye. Take care.